Okay, shalom to the children of Israel. Peace and blessing unto the nation of Israel. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, and all thanks to the Yahweh Shai, the Son. Now we're going to touch on a little topic here that I think a lot of people are getting confused on, concerning the mark of the beast and what it entails and what it is, So I'm going to first go into what is the beast, okay, and the Antichrist. All that ties into to the same thing. The Antichrist, the beast, the mark of the beast, they all tied in together. All right. So let me get Genesis 25. Going back to Genesis to the beginning, because the beasts have been along for a long time. A long time the beasts have been around. So it's been around so long, people don't think he's a beast. Okay? Okay, Genesis chapter 25. My Bible's kind of over. Hold on. Alright. Genesis chapter 25 and 24. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at verse 21. No, matter of fact, I'll start from verse 19. It says, "And these are the generation of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian, of Padan Aram, the daughter of Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord, the Most High, for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived." Right. So the father Isaac entreated the Lord, the Most High, for his wife because she was barren, like the scripture said. And he prayed for her, and the Most High opened her womb, and she conceived. She became pregnant. Right? Verse 22. "And the children struggled together within her. And she said, If it be so, why am I thus?" So she was having problems in her pregnancy. And she probably was having pains and feeling all these movements inside of her. So she's like, she said, why am I thus? Why are these things happening to her? Okay, so she asked, this is what she's requiring of the Lord. She's inquiring of the Lord. Why is this thing happening? Because it's abnormal for children to be moving. They move, but they don't move excessively like that. So she was having excessive amount of movements because the children were fighting in the womb. They were literally fighting in the womb. Okay? They were struggling to this. That struggle they had together, it was a fight. All right? "And the Lord said unto her," verse 23, "And the Lord said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels." So he's telling her, listen, you have two different people, not just two brothers, not because they twins, they the same, but you have two different nations. The Most High formed two nations in the same womb. And nations come from men. That's why he said two nations are in thy womb, because the men bear the seed, and the seed comes out of the man and goes into the woman. The woman don't have seed. Okay, they teach you different stuff in biology and in whatever in college and high school. They teach you different stuff. They teach you that the woman have the egg and the man fertilize the egg. That is totally false. Men don't fertilize. We're not fertilizers. We have the seed. We are as a tree. The scripture describes men as a tree. Okay, we have the seed within us. That semen, that thing that is inside the semen, what they call sperm, that is the seed that is planted into the woman when a man and a woman come together. Okay? So this is what's happening. We transfer the seed, and the woman the child is fashioned, meaning the Most High developed the seed in the womb. He makes it becomes a baby, a child, or a male child or a female child, whatever the Most High chooses to bring forth. So this is what happens. So men and woman comes out of man. Okay, men and woman comes out of a man. Whatever man they be, whatever kind of man they be, that's what the man is gonna bring forth, because he bears the seed. The same thing as like a mango tree. A mango tree will bring forth mangoes. A cherry tree will bring forth cherries. A mango tree cannot bring forth cherries. It's impossible. See? So the man bring forth whatever he is. Okay? That's why you have different kind of people in the earth, because the Most High created all these nations, and he let the men bring forth whatever the man is. Okay? That's why if you see so-called black man, which is most likely the Israelite, or he could be a black man of another nation too. Okay? But if he's a black man of Israel, okay, so-called black, I don't like to use the word black, but for educational purposes, I might use this from time to time. Okay? So, if an Israelite or a so-called black man went into Edomite woman or so-called white woman, the child would be also an Israelite, because today they call them mixed breed or biracial, but there's no such thing. The man determines the seed or the nationality of the child. So the child might be looking at some attributes of the mother because it was formed and fashioned in the womb of that woman, but is not of that nation that she is from. Okay? So that's what happens. So that's why you see all these things, and they confuse people with all these different names, biracial, mix, There's no mix, there's no biracial. You're one nationality. You can't be two nationalities. You can only be one nationality. Okay, it's whatever the man is, that's what brings forth. So that's why the Most High said, 2 nations is in thy womb. Same way, like if it's an Edomite man or so-called white man enter the womb of a so-called black woman or Israelite woman, the child will be an Edomite, even though he might have the features of the mother, which is an Israelite. By nationality, the child by seed is of the father. He's an Edomite. Okay? So that's why the Most High said he warned against intermarriage, interrelations, because it confuses the lines, it blurs the lines. You see? It blurs the lines of the child. People don't know what you are. They look at you like, what are you? They don't know. Because you have to tell them what your father is for them to know. See? So, but that's just one of the reasons he didn't want us to mix. But there were other reasons. But I'll get into that some other time in another class. All right, so now, 2 nations, he said, is in her womb. 2 nations, meaning 2 men that will bring forth 2 different nationalities, 2 different people, 2 kinds of people. They're not going to be the same. They're going to look different. They're going to be different. They're going to think different. They're going to act differently. Okay? They're going to do everything differently. And they're going to be totally differently. They will not even look alike. So not all twins look alike. Okay? So they're going to be totally different. So this is verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people. You see? 2 manner meaning 2 kind. From the same womb. Right? 2 manner, same mother, same father, but 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. The one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. All right? So this is where it started. It started right here. This is where the nation of Israel really started. We had the forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but they were not a nation yet. They were just the forefathers. But out of Jacob, the nation is going to come, because Jacob is going to have 12 sons. Okay? Out of Jacob, the nation is going to come. So he's going to have 12 sons, and the 12 sons are going to make one nation. Right? So that we came out of Jacob's lineage, from Jacob's line. The Edomites, or so-called white people, they came out of Esau's line, or Esau's lineage. But the father of both of these men are their father is Isaac. See? No, sorry. The father is Isaac. Yeah, the father is Isaac, because Isaac had two sons, Jacob and Esau. So this is what transpiring here, right? So now we're going to go to verse 25. And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Right? So that was Esau. That's so-called what they call white, but the man is not white. He's actually red. Okay? So the red man. Okay? He came out hairy all over like a hairy garment. See? Red all over like a hairy garment. So he was both red and hairy. Okay? Like a beast. See? So when y'all talk about the beast, this is where the beast came from. The beast came from this man. The red, hairy man that looked like a beast. Okay? His attributes are beast-like. See? His attributes is wild and beast-like. Look at his attributes. And if you read about him in the scripture, it's the same thing. You know? Smell like a beast. Look like a beast. You know? Attributes like a beast. They treat you like they treat other people like how a beast will treat you. Beast-like, mean, angry, hatred. See? And this is the attributes. See? Some of them try to hide it, but it's in their nature to be like that. See? Anyway. Move on. Verse 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. Is that on? Yeah, on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when he bare them. All right. So that's okay. Let me read 20. All right. But this is a whole nother thing by itself. This piece here is a piece of prophecy. This scripture right here, this piece of scripture right here, is a piece of prophecy that when Jacob takes hold of Esau's heel, that's showing you Esau will rise up and rule first, and Jacob will take hold of his heel and bring him down and take the rulership. Because the scripture says the elder shall serve the younger. So Esau came out first. He was the elder. And Jacob, which is our forefather, he was the younger. So in turn, Esau will serve Jacob, or Esau will serve Israel. That's what the Lord is saying. All right? And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. See? So that shows their spirit right there. He was a man of the field, men who love to go on adventure, who like to ski off jump off of mountains, cliffs, skydive, ski down the mountain 100 and something miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, whatever, however fast, just to get a thrill. Always hunting, killing everything just as a trophy, just to keep it as a trophy, the head or the horn or something. You know, that's his nature. So when you see them doing this stuff on TV, that's their nature. We don't go into all that. They would go into the sea, dive deep into the sea and mess with the animals in the bottom of the ocean. You know, mess with the shark, the whale, everything. You don't see Jacob doing all that stuff. Not on the scale that they do it. You see? So that's showing you who the man is. Alright? So now this is just to show you the men have beast-like attributes. So when the Most High said the mark of the beast, he's actually talking about a nation. He's not talking about one man. That's like the churches tell you. There's one man walking around who is the Antichrist, or he's the one man going to rule the whole world. That's impossible. Okay, it's impossible for one man, for everybody to love this one man. The one man that the world loves is the Edomites. Everybody respects the Edomites. All nations respect the Edomites. He can go into any nation and tell anybody what to do, you know, or he gonna bomb them if they don't do what he, you know, or put the embargoes on them, like they're doing now. So that's the one man the scripture is talking about. That man is a nation of men. Okay, it's not one individual person or one individual man. You know, it's talking about a nation of men. See? See? That's the nation of the beast. That's what he's talking about. Okay, so let me go to what scripture is that? Revelations. Let me go to Revelations. I think it's the 13th chapter. Let me see. Revelations. Let me go to my Bible. Right. The name is right. So Revelation chapter 13. Let's start at verse. Wow. Wow. I mean, the whole chapter is like dealing with the. Okay. We start 13 and 1. Revelation chapter 13 and 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast, see, raised up out of the sea. Right. So the sea is the people of the earth. The people, everybody who live in the earth is part of that sea. Out of the sea, okay, meaning among all nations, this nation rose up. When they say rose up, that means it began to become great. It was beginning to get great. He saw it rose up, it rising up above other nations. It was coming great. It was becoming great. When I say great, it means economically great, militarily, you know, military great. In all facets, in all aspects, it became great. Okay, trying to rule over other nations, commanding them what they should and should not do. You know, so this nation was rising up, right, out of the sea. See these things are not literal. These are like metaphoric. Out of the sea, you know, nations don't ride over the sea. Okay, so he's talking about the beast rising up above other nations. Okay? I'm gonna just run through some of. I'm just gonna go through this thing and hit the points that I want to hit on, because this scripture goes into different, you know, goes into different avenues, and I want to just focus on one thing right now. Okay. because I'm dealing with the beast right now. Okay. Okay. Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his head 10 crowns, and upon the head the name of blasphemy. Okay, so this beast has 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay. So they had a, what would you call, a union, like it's one body, but they have 10 different heads. This beast have 10 heads. There's no, you never see no physical beast like that having 10 heads. So it's actually talking about nations. Okay? And this talking about the nations that they have a coalition together. Okay? They have a, what do you call it? They have an agreement together. They're the same people, but they have like they split it, they have different heads, meaning they have different rulerships. They have different pieces of land that they rule over, different people that they rule over, you know, like different body of people that they rule over. But they're the same people. Okay? Alright? So this beast has 7 heads, and it has 7 heads. 7 is the important number too. 7 has also meaning is completion. They rule all the major countries of the earth. Okay? All the major countries, they rule over them. And the smaller countries, they have to follow after their lead or whatever. But the major countries, okay? 7 heads and 10 horns. See? And upon the crown 10, and upon the horns 10 crowns, meaning they had 10 kings or presidents. Okay? And upon his heads the name of blasphemy. So all of them had names of blasphemy because they were just it was just basically lies, and that's what the world is running after, is ruled by today. All the nations of the country of the world is ruled by lies, because nobody don't know who the children of Israel is. They don't promote the name of the children of Israel, or mention who they are, or teach who they are, or nothing like that. So that alone in itself is blasphemy, along with the other set of lies that they carry on with, like they teach. Okay? And the beast which I saw was like a leopard. Right? So these are different kingdoms on the earth that they had different attributes as different kind of beast. Okay? So this beast was like a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power. See? The dragon is Satan. The dragon is the devil. He gave them their power. All these nations of the earth today, okay? Satan gave them their power. Okay? Satan gave them their power. Their power did not come from the Most High. It came from Satan. And his seat. So he gave him his power and his seat and great authority. See? The world, like it says in Job, you know, the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. See? So the wicked is Satan. And Satan gave it to his wicked, which is his nations that he has, that's under him. Okay? Which is Esau and these other nations. Alright? And I saw one of his head, and I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. See? So this is actually going into one of the main nations that rule the earth, which is Rome. This goes into Rome. This is back in the Roman captivity when we were in Rome. All right. So he's making mention of that, because the the Romans were wounded with a wound, and their nation was destroyed, meaning their rulership was destroyed. They're still around, but their rulership, like they rule the world, like how America is ruling the world today, were destroyed. They were brought down, so his head was wounded. See, and the world wandered after the beast. Right? And this wander actually means, that's another thing. This word wander, they didn't wander like where did he go. They wandered after the beast, meaning they wandered after, they followed him. They follow his ways. That's why you see today everybody following Christmas tradition, all the holidays of men. That's why the world is, even the churches follow it. Matter of fact, the churches were set up, the churches are not of the Most High. The churches are part of the mark of the beast. And a lot of people think they don't have the mark of the beast. Talking about, I'm not going to get the mark of the beast. Most people already have the mark of the beast. Okay? That's Esau's mark, to make it more clear for you. That's his mark. He marked everybody, or most people already. If you don't know the truth, or if you don't care to know the truth, you already been marked. If you call yourself by any religion, you already have the mark of the beast. You already have it. Because the mark, and they put out this thing, about some chip and all this stuff to make you think, everybody waiting for a chip to see if they're going to line everybody up and give them a chip in their forehead or in their hands, while all along they already got the mark. Most people don't even have to be marked. They already got it. You already been branded, in other words. You already been branded. Your mind has been smeared with a hot iron. You can't tell our people nothing. A lot of them into all these religions of the world. They into Buddhism, all these religions, Muslim, Hindu, everything you can think about. Jehovah's Witnesses, Seventh-day Adventists, every Catholic, any religion you mention, it doesn't matter which one, they all are the mark of the beast. And most of our people believe in one or the other. One of them, they believe in that. You believe in anything, you call yourself by any one of these things other than Israel or Yasharallah. Okay? Some people say Yasharal. But once you call yourself by any of these religions, I am this, I am that. How did you get that? Were you born a Seventh-day Adventist? Were you born a Christian? Were you born Muslim? Were you born a Buddhist? No, you were not born all these things. You marked yourself, or somebody. Well, you actually have to mark yourself. People think, the Satan will mark people. No, you actually mark yourself by you willingly believing in these things. You mark yourself. Maybe you were convinced. Maybe you were seduced. It doesn't matter. You marked yourself. It's your responsibility to find the truth. As long as you're on this earth, it's your responsibility to know the truth. You have to find it. The Most High said, knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Seek, and you shall find. What do you think he's talking about? The truth. Knock, and the truth will be opened unto you. Seek, and you will find. If you look for the truth, you're going to find it. Okay? You're going to find the truth if you look for it. If you pray, fast, ask the Most High, He will lead you to somebody who knows the truth. Or He probably going to just let you know spiritually. Who knows? Okay? But He going to let you know. Whichever way He chooses to let you know. Okay? So once you call yourself by any other name than the name that the Most High gave you, you already been marked. That's the simplest way I can put it. Okay, if you can't understand that, I don't know how else to tell you. If you're not calling yourself by the name that the Most High gave you, okay, and Israelite is not a religion. A lot of people think it's a religion. It's not. It's a nationality. It's a nation by which you were born, from which you came from. Okay? So if you say you're Israelite, okay, there's no verse in the scripture the Most High said become part of a religion. When you become a part of a religion, you mark yourself. You put an X on your forehead.